his little boy can get reunited. And it takes courage. I mean, a lot of guys would ditch their family when things got bad, but Sean chose to come to the UGM and get some help. So that's the context of why he's here. And I wanted Sean just to tell us a little bit about what was going on in your life just before you came to UGM.
Just before,
Yeah,
we were trying to get an apartment.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
We had been separated since December of 2017. Like barely even 6 months after we got married, 4 months after our son was born. I could never get a handle on the anger that I felt, the frustration that lived inside of me. Trying to take care of a family, you know, and not being equipped to provide. There were so many things, man, like, it was just, I never did recovery. I never took care of the issues that led me to addiction and that led me to being a part of gangs, you know, and so we were fighting a lot. We both had baggage. We're believers, but like I couldn't hold down. Those demons didn't leave. I thought they were gone. They weren't gone, and it all came out. Me and my wife got together officially after my dad died. We were married a year later, and I was still grieving him, you know, and I couldn't do it. We were trying to find an apartment because we both have bad credit. We kept getting denied, you know, and the therapy I was seeking back then it wasn't helping. So I have a history of anger, violence, gangs, drugs, and even if you're clean and sober for a number of years, that doesn't always leave you. You know, sometimes people end up with what they call PAWS, post-acute withdrawal syndrome. The withdrawal behaviors are long-lasting, and it takes years to overcome it, if you overcome it. And so it was threatening everything. I wasn't making enough money. I couldn't handle it. You know, we were always arguing. We were getting denied apartments, and I was spiraling out of control again. Like the reason she left in the first place was because I became violent with her in front of our son, and everybody knew like my behavior was I was relapsing in anger. I was still clean and sober, but my attitude and my behavior and then I have PTSD, so I didn't know how to manage all of these things, and getting rejected time after time, different apartments. I just couldn't handle it, and everybody saw that I was going back down that road, and the change wasn't happening. So I got kicked out of where I was living by my spiritual parents. My wife took our son and left again, and I didn't have a lot of options. I wrecked my car twice because of untreated sleep apnea, so I didn't even have my car to live in. I knew I was going to end up in the streets, and I had to make a choice really quickly.
So what was it like to come to the Union Gospel Mission that first day?
I was in shock, man. Like I was numb. I couldn't believe that's where, you know. I volunteered at numerous shelters in Tacoma and Seattle. Homeless youth, homeless men in Tacoma for years. What am I doing here? How did I end
Is
up here?
that humbling?
The guys I was helping in Tacoma, like, no, how can I not say I'm one of them now? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have that many clothes. I left everything behind. I live in a shelter. Yeah, it's the most humbling thing I've ever experienced.
So tell us about what's happening in your life going through the recovery program.
Man, recovery recovery's messy. You know, my wife and I, we talk about it all the time, and I just love her. She's so good to me. She's still here. They're waiting.
What are you learning?
Uh,
What are some of the things that have kind of helped you look at the stuff that's driving your anger and your addictions?
about my childhood, how things were in my culture, in my family, with my parents, how, you know, because my parents were married up until my mom died. They weren't divorced. You know, we went to church. My dad had alcohol addiction when I was younger. He was in the Army. He was there, but he wasn't there. And that affected me. I didn't even know until just recently how much that affected me, and that I was going through stuff as a kid and not liking the way I looked and how people teased me and how I was, not understanding why I'm the way I am, and he wasn't there. You know, and my dad was one of the best men I knew, but that affected me, and that led me like I was alone and in a world where like I just ended up in gangs because of it. Gangs, drugs, alcohol. I was angry, I was lost. Now I'm in this life and people are trying to hurt me and I'm just trying to survive. But I can't go to my dad, I can't go to my mom, I can't go to nobody.
So what's happening now, today?
Oh man, a lot of digging and discovering things from the past that made me the way I was and still affect me as an adult and how I think, how I react to situations. But God is so good, man. Like, I'm closer to him than I ever have been. And so is my wife. And so because of that, we're closer to each other than we ever have been.
Do you feel like you have hope and direction for your future?
Jeremiah 29:11.
So what would you want a group of Christians to know about homeless people? How do they engage? How do they help? How do they help a guy like you who's got anger issues?
Homeless people are God's children too. They're created by the same God that we all believe in. If they talk right now, there's a lot of talk in Seattle and Spokane about the issue of homelessness, but that's just what we see. It's kind of like addiction, you know. There's an underlying issue. It's not homeless. It's not the problem. The problem really is addiction. It's brokenness. You know, I look at the drugs, the alcohol, the gangs, the anger, the violence, women, money, all of these things that I was addicted to. And I'm just finding out that my core addiction is codependency because nobody cared. Nobody was there. I pushed everybody away. I pushed my brother and sister to be closer to each other because I was on a path where I was just lost and I didn't want them to be with me and follow me. So, like, compassion, love, like, a lot of these people, even if you present them with resources to get help, they have no hope, so why would they even try to get help? They don't feel worthy of anything. You know, love, compassion, they don't want it because they haven't had it for so long, they don't feel worthy of it. So, as believers, we have to love them and love on them over and over until that love breaks through. Love is the most powerful thing that God gave us.
I'm going to jump in on you, Sean, because we're almost running out of time. I would encourage you to talk to Sean if you have any questions with him. This is what's happening in the heart of a lot of men at the mission, what's going on with Sean, and you can multiply that times with the women and children as well. And so until we can do what he's talking about and get to the heart, we're never going to get a whole person again. So thank you very much, Sean. I really appreciate all that you're doing.